Donald Trump and Elon Musk have broken up in a very public way, and the media couldn't be happier. In fact, it's been salivating over this very moment for over a year. And now that Musk is trying to get into Trump's good graces again, well, Christmas just came early for the media business. Welcome to Newspeak, I'm Kellum. It all started with Musk calling for Congress to kill what Trump calls his big beautiful bill. The bill wouldn't increase spending, but it would cut taxes. The Congressional Budget Office estimates that it would add $3 trillion to the national debt over 10 years. Now, this is a particular bugaboo for Musk. Trump appointed him to run DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, and for the past 6 months, he has been trying to cut trillions, although realistically billions, from the national budget. Musk believes that if the U.S. doesn't get its spending under control, the U.S. economy could collapse. But their feud quickly went beyond the spending bill. Trump claimed that he had asked Musk to leave the administration, which is kind of a different story than what Trump said publicly when he announced Musk was leaving. At that time, he said that he wanted Musk to stay as long as possible, but since Musk was a special government employee who can only work for 130 days in a year, there's going to be a point where he's going to have to leave. Trump also claims that Musk had sour grapes about the bill taking away electric vehicle mandates, to which Musk countered that he never wanted the EV mandates to begin with and shared footage of him saying so in 2021.
So there's no need for this for support for a charging network. I would delete.
And then Trump suggested that he might look into taking away Musk's government contracts with his company SpaceX, to which Musk replied that he would start decommissioning his Dragon spacecraft immediately. The Dragon is basically the shuttle that carries NASA astronauts to the International Space Station. Fortunately for US astronauts, he walked that back a short while later, although probably because the head honchos at SpaceX reminded him just how much of their money comes from government contracts. And last but not least, Musk dropped this bomb. The reason the Trump administration hasn't released anything new from the Epstein files is because, Musk claims, Trump is in them. Now, if true, this wouldn't be that surprising. We've probably all seen this footage of Trump partying with Epstein from the 1990s, and after Epstein's death in 2019, Trump admitted to knowing Epstein, but said that at some point he had a falling out with him. Also, the names of his daughter, Ivanka, and his ex-wife, Ivana Trump, show up in Epstein's contact book. Now, after Musk spent several days unloading on Trump and Trump shooting it right back, Musk expressed regret for his part, saying some of his posts went too far. Musk reportedly also called Trump to smooth things over, and while Trump has not exactly said he forgives Musk, he seemed to open the door to forgiving him.
Well, I have no hard feelings. I was really surprised.
You were very kind to him. I saw you together, and I think he treated you a bit like a father. And
I was disappointed in him, but it is what it is. That happens. Things like that happen. I don't blame him for anything. That I was a little disappointed.
Could you reconcile?
Say it?
Could you reconcile with him, do you think? Could you forgive him?
I guess I could, but we have to straighten out the country.
So if you're in the media business, this is like a bear finding a giant honeypot. Remember when Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt got together? Brad Pitt was still married to Jennifer Aniston at the time, so that generated some controversy. But it was nothing compared to the Brangelina breakup. Look at how many more people were Googling them after their breakup than when they got together. There are a few reasons this is such a great media story. First off, the two were longtime rivals before they were allies. Musk only endorsed Trump after the first assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, so they weren't natural allies from the beginning. Then there's this dynamic where the world's richest man was working for arguably the world's most powerful politician. Both men have big egos and are known for being somewhat mercurial. And both men have their own social media companies, which they prolifically post on. If you want to know what Trump or Musk are thinking about at any given point during the day, there's a good chance they're posting about it. And a lot of this battle played out on their social media, which made it that much more interesting. Also, this is essentially two politicians fighting rather than just two businessmen. Political stories, especially American political stories, are read all over the world, so this is bound to draw a lot of eyeballs. And there's already a lot of interest built up in these two men and their relationship. So needless to say, there's a lot about this dynamic that the media loves. And as we all know, media is a business and relies on people watching their content to make money. And maybe that's why the media has been predicting this breakup since the day it started. Now, maybe the media just saw this as inevitable given how many of Trump's former allies he turned against or who turned against him. But it also felt like the media was egging this on. There were so many stories where I felt journalists were trying to uncover any little disagreement between Trump and Musk and to hold it up as proof that there were simmering tensions behind the scenes. There were several theories out there about how Trump felt about Musk. One was that Trump was jealous of Musk's rising profile and that he couldn't stand a star that shone brighter than his own. When Musk was spending a lot of time at Mar-a-Lago last year, former Wall Street Journal tech reporter Kara Swisher predicted that Trump would grow tired of Musk always being at his elbow. And there was reporting to back that up. At a meeting with congressional Republicans, Trump reportedly joked that he couldn't get rid of Musk. Some media pundits also suggested that Trump wanted to use Musk for his dirty work, aka the cuts that Doge made across the government. The theory went that after Musk's reputation had been dragged through the mud, Trump would distance himself from Musk, then discard him to avoid casting a shadow on his administration. That theory didn't seem to pan out, though. Here's the send-off Trump gave Musk as he stepped back from Doge.
And I just want to say that Elon has worked tirelessly helping lead the most sweeping and consequential government reform program in generations.
Another theory was that Trump liked the power trip of having the world's richest man working for him, and for free no less. Now, Trump's own theory about what happened is that Musk got TDS, or Trump derangement syndrome.
People leave my administration and they love us. And then at some point they miss it so badly, and some of them embrace it and some of them actually become hostile.
I happen to think that this is a principal issue for Musk. He does seem genuinely concerned about government bloat and overspending, and he sacrificed a lot both personally and professionally to tackle the problem. I think Trump also likes tackling government overspending in theory, but he's a savvy politician and he knows that tax cuts are popular and that cutting Medicare and Medicaid isn't. Trump also wants to leave a legacy by building things like a Golden Dome defense shield, which comes with, shall we say, a gold-level price tag. Now, I'm really curious how you followed this fight. Did you go to their social media feeds on X or Truth Social to read for yourself what they were posting, or did you follow it by watching other legacy or new media? How much of a bump the media companies get depends entirely on how you're consuming the news and commentary about this. And if you have any other thoughts about how this story is being reported, I would love to hear your comments down below. Once again, I'm Kellum, and you're watching Newspeak.